Good day folks, Jim here from FX Charts with the December. Thanks for tuning in. It was a pretty choppy session again with the majors really all over the place, but ended up going really nowhere too far. First of all, we had the EU services PMIs. They came in pretty mixed, showing really the divergence between the performing and the non-performing nations within the EU. Then the US data, that was also fairly mixed, but the focus was fairly on the ADP private employment numbers. They came out far stronger than expected, which comes ahead of tomorrow's non-farm payrolls. So the market is trying to make up its mind whether tapering is or is not going to begin. Elsewhere, some of the other data wasn't quite so strong, and the dollar made some early gains, but swiftly turned around with the end effect that the euro and sterling and the Swissy have really ended up where they started. Now later on, of course, we've got the ECB and the Bank of England, so they'll give us direction later in the session, and then finally we've got the US GDP numbers. But if we go and have a look at the charts here, starting off with the euro, the euro's now at back at 135.90. Not doing an awful lot, as you can see. It did fall out of bed a little bit early on, and it's come back to stay pretty much unchanged. So there's nothing really to add on the euro. We've got good resistance here at 130, 135, 136.30, and some more around 136.5. If we break through there, then I guess we're heading towards 137.10. I can't really see it. I would imagine Mario Draghi is still going to be fairly dovish on the outlook for the EU economy, and that if anything, he's likely to push the euro a little bit lower. But there's good support down around the 135.25 area. We've been down there several times now. If we break through there, then 134.70 should attract. I doubt very much we're going below that today, unless he's really is negative on the outlook. The charts, as I say, or as I've said before, are pretty flat. That's the 4 hourlies. The dailies are not much better. So more range trading looks pretty much in store. Moving right along to dollar yen. Now the yen's made a good comeback all round, really, both against the dollar and the crosses. It's headed sharply lower today. Late in New York, it got down to 101.80. It's bounced since then to sort of 101.30, but 102.30, I should say. And it's pressing this trend line, what was originally support, now resistance. But the 4-hour charts are suggesting that we've got more downside. The RSIs don't look all that positive, and the dailies, to me, they're not really showing much in either direction. So it could be fairly choppy until a non-farm payroll tomorrow. The GDP number today will give it some direction, but it looks to me as though it could be turning a little bit lower. And we may see, if the US equity markets, which are looking a little bit heavy, if they come off, then we might see some yen strength in the days ahead. Sterling also, let me have a go with the 1-hour chart. That did come off after some soft UK data earlier on today, but it has rebounded in line with the euro. Now we've got the Bank of England later on today. No changes expected there. But we've also got the UK Chancellor's autumn statement. That could be a little bit punchy given the recently improved UK data. So another test of this 164.5 level may follow. But having said that, the 4-hour charts are still a little bit negative. They're not really doing too much, but the MACDs are suggesting we could see a little bit lower. The dailies are actually still pointing a bit higher. So at the end of the session, I wouldn't be surprised to see it a little bit volatile, but probably ending up not too far from where we are now, close to 164. Dollar Swiss, it's just easing down along with this channel. It can't break away from it at all. And the charts, the 4-hour charts, this is a 4-hour chart, look as though we are headed, we're going to continue with this drift lower. If we do get a particularly dovish Mario Draghi, then we could see a spike higher as the euro comes under pressure and the dollar regains some ground. But equally, a soft GDP number later on today might keep the dollar under pressure, and so the Swissy will continue to ease back towards 90, and then possibly to this 89.75 level. The top side sees good resistance at 90.70 and then at 91, and doesn't really look as though we're going above there for the time being. The Aussie, well, the Aussie can't pick it at all at the moment. It's doing exactly what the RBA wanted it to do. It's traded under 90 today after the soft GDP number yesterday, and today we've got the trade balance, which could keep the pressure on the downside. I think we're probably in for a day of 90 to 91 trade. Let me just blow that up a little bit. We're showing some bullish divergence here, so I wouldn't be getting too overly bearish down around here at the moment. Suspect we could see a bit of a squeeze back towards sort of 91 cents, where I'd be looking to sell it again. Theoretically, I guess we can still go back to this 92.5. It seems a long way off at the moment. That's the neckline of the head and shoulders. We could still go back there. As I say, I'm looking for only sort of 91 at this stage. And eventually, as I've said repeatedly before, we're going to go to 88.5, and then the head and shoulders target, which is down around 87.80. The Kiwi's doing nothing very interesting. It's pretty choppy. It's hard to read. I think the head and shoulders that we've been watching is probably invalid. It got up to 82.60. It's become back now. It's trading right on the neckline. So I'm fairly neutral. I kind of think that we probably are going to see the Kiwi head lower, probably dragged down by the Aussie over time. But it is outperforming the Aussie, and Aussie Kiwi cross is lower once again today. It's trading just above 110. 110. So it is outperforming the Aussie. It looks to me the 4-hour charts are a little bit negative. The dailies are trying to turn a little bit higher, but we've got good support here at 81.70 and 81.45 being the 200 and the 100 day moving average. And on the top side, I don't think we're going above 82.60. So I use that as a range, but I think still look to sell into rallies. So that's about it for today. As I say, we've got the Australian trade data coming up, the trade balance coming up in Asia, and then we've got the Bank of England and ECB rate announcements with the added interest of the UK Chancellor's autumn statement, and then the US GDP later in the session. So it'll be a busy one. So stay fairly flexible, I think. But good luck with your trading, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.